Hey guys, it's Maymay, and check out this twisted triple easel card. How stinking cute is this? I love this. I saw this on Pinterest. I went on a search and found YouTube where people had made videos on it. I'm going to link some of that in the description below, but I had to make it and show it to you. Now I'm calling it the A2-ish card because the measurements are a little bit different. So let's get started. So we're veering off from our normal measurements. And when I say A2-ish, here's what I mean. It's going to fit in an A2 envelope, but it's not going to be A2 measurements, okay? Normally with an A2, you would cut this page in half at 5.5. We're going to cut it in half at 5.25. You're going to have to trust me on this one. I did not want to mess with tiny measurements, so I'm doing it this way so we can avoid that. You'll be happier. You'll have a little wiggle room in your envelope, but it won't be a big deal. What I'm doing here is showing you that you can still get 2 of these from one piece of cardstock. You'll just have this little strip left over. That's perfect for sentiments. All right, so leave that in your bin or hold on to it. Now, these guys we're going to score. And we're going to cut. As a matter of fact, since we're going to score and cut, I'm just going to leave this trimmer here and use my little score blade that is on this trimmer. That is handy. All right, so I'm going to score this in half at 4.25 like we always do. So that doesn't change. The only thing that changes is instead of having a 4.25 by 5.5 card, you have 4.25 by 5.25. Okay? And don't worry, that'll be in the blog post for you guys. I'll have all that information for you. All right, I'm going to score these in the middle. Now we need to do some slicing. This is the front of our card, okay? This is going to be the inside. This is the front, and this is what we're going to cut, all right? So we're going to turn this into our trimmer, and we're going to cut this guy in a couple places. The first place we're going to cut in at is 1 3/4. So I'm going to lay this in my trimmer at the 1 3/4 mark. I'm going to take my blade, not my scoreboard, we're through with the score tool, we're through with it, and I'm going to slice in until I get to the 4.25 mark, or till I get to my score mark, okay? And what I like to do is just kind of hold that steady and lift up and make sure I got to my score mark, and I did. I'm good there. Now I'm going to move this guy down, and I'm going to do it at 3.5. What this is doing is just splitting the front of our card equally, and we'll have 3 equal shapes. Now, you don't have to do it equally. I played around, and you can mess with the measurements all you want to, and you can have the first one shorter than the next one or what have you, but I wanted to show you the equal measurements first. Okay, so that's what we've got. The front of our card is now basically shredded. It's in three pieces. Now we want this piece to fold like an easel, and that means we want this corner to go under. So that means we need to score from this corner down to the center. You're going to do that same movement on all of these panels. So I'm going to go back to my scoring tool, and what we're going to do, I'll show you a little trick too. If you'll put these guys underneath, just fold that score mark and just get them out of the way, you can really see what you're doing. We're going to score from that point there to our score mark, again here in the middle. So I'm just going to line this up on my cut line, okay, but we're not going to cut, we're going to score. And I'm going to use my scoring tool, and I'm just going to run up and down a couple times to give myself a nice diagonal score. So you probably can't see it, but I have scored diagonally, okay? Now what I'm going to do is do this next one, and I'm just going to leave that one underneath, and I'm going to go from corner to score mark. And you need to try to be kind of specific here. This really does kind of matter. These pieces can get off slightly, and then your layers that we're going to put on won't look just right. So you want to make sure you're paying attention to those pretty good. All right, it's time for the last one. So in that corner and to our score mark. And my fear is always that I will grab the wrong blade, but I pay attention. Get that score blade, not the slicing blade. All right, and now I'm going to try to come up really high and see if you can see it. Now I have my score marks on the diagonal, and it's super easy to do, okay? All right, now what we need to do is we need to layer this. Move this another way. We're only making one at a time. So I want to cut some cardstock to layer this piece with, okay? And I'm just going to use 2 different colors to do that. So I'll show you how we get that done. Now then, I'm going to show you how to get your cuts to go on top of these little angled pieces. So these pieces end up being 1 3/4 by 4.25. So you need to cut a piece, and I'm going to use the polka dotted side so you can see it, that is 1.5 by 4, okay? We will be cutting this piece on the diagonal, separating it, and making it be our mat pieces. But you need to pay attention to patterns. You can't quite do it with just 3 pieces. If you want this to be the same here, you can. Or if you want to take this one off and like twist one around, you can. But I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So I've already cut my floral pieces, so I'm going to finish my blue pieces, and I'll show you how. You also need to pay attention to this. The part I'm cutting now is the bottom corner. You see that? So that means I've got to pay attention to my angle, okay? So I need to cut this on an angle like this so I can get my bottom corner piece. This is hard for me. I'm not the best at paying attention, so you have to pay attention to get these right. Y'all know how I am about patterns and things. All right, I'm sinking my blade into the middle and going up and coming down to get a nice sharp point. That's how I do that. All right, and then I'm going to place this one here. And let me show you what I mean. If you're using the other side of this, it really doesn't work. It just doesn't lay exactly right. Now you could use this piece up here, which is what I'm going to do. But in order to have two different pieces, you have to have multiple pieces of your paper to do it. Okay, so I need to cut, I think I've got all mine cut. Let me look and see. So what I did here was I cut one piece apart to get those two. Then I cut another piece to get this one. Okay. Then I cut one piece apart to get these two using this little floral. And then I cut another piece apart to get this one. You see what I'm saying? I think that makes sense. So that's how I'm going to lay mine out. I have this extra piece. I'm going to move it to the side, and we can glue those down. Now, you glue them down in their little space there, in that little pie slice. That's how you want them to be. You don't want them to overlap your score mark, okay? Because you're going to be folding that once we get all this laid out. So we don't want to do that just yet. You don't want to cover your score mark at all. So pay very close attention and make sure you line this up off of that score mark. You're just sinking this in. Because we cut it 1/4 inch smaller all the way around, sinking it in is not a problem. You just don't want to cover up your score mark. All right, I'm going to glue all these pieces down to the front. So there's my 3 pieces, or my 6 pieces glued into place. Let's go ahead and do our fold now so you can see how this works. So each piece is going to get folded under. So on that score line that you made, you want to fold that under. So I'm just going to let that be there, and let's go ahead. What does let that be there? I don't know. We're going to fold that like that, and then we're going to crease it down. Y'all, I took 4 days off, so filming is now hard. Okay, so I'm going to fold this one down and crease it. I cannot tell you how weird it is to get back into the swing after only 4 days. All right, and then the last one here. And now we've got our little angles ready to go. Okay, so now that you've got these guys folded like this, you're going to need a stopper to make the easel work, okay? Now, I'm going to be decorating mine with frogs. I'm actually using my stamp set called Jump for Joy. Let me show you these pieces. They are so cute. These are, remember, my stamp sets come with free SVGs, and I actually cut these using my Cricut Joy, which I'll have a video of all of that information for you. Matter of fact, I'll link in the description below my SVG information videos. So if you have this stamp set and you want to use the SVGs, you can. I just went ahead, oh, I don't need this guy, I didn't color him, but I just went ahead and did a lot of the images that I could put on here. But what I thought would be cute is if the lily pads were my stoppers. So when this is lifted up, there's a little lily pad showing. So let me show you how we're going to do that. Let's pull out these 3 lily pads. I like these, and I'm going to put these aside for when we do the rest of the card, okay? So I got my little lily pads, and what I need to do is foam the back of these so they will pop up, because that's going to be what locks our little easels into place. So I'm just going to put some foam on the back. I'm using my small and my big because I think I can use 2 on this little guy, and then maybe just 1 big one on the other ones. Let me see. I know this big guy will fit over here. And I might can put a couple on the other side. Just make sure your foam is the same thickness. That way you're not getting it uneven. You just want a nice even spot there. So let's do this guy, and then we're going to place them where they go. Now, I think I want the largest one at the bottom. The reason is it'll show more. So I'm going to use this big guy here. Let's peel the backer off of this. These cards are easy to make. People are so brilliant how they just come up with these cuts and shapes and designs. It's just so cool to me how they do it. All right, I'm going to lift up that bottom where I want it to sit, okay? And then I'm going to place my lily pad down so that it will be its stopper. So watch what will happen. See how it just kind of locks into it? Isn't that awesome? Let's do our second largest one, and then we'll do the smallest one at the top. So again, lift up this little guy here where you want it to go, and then put your lily pad down. I thought I had my lily pad upside down, but I think that is correct. So that one now locks in place, and then our final little stopper. Now, you can make these stoppers out of anything. In my first card, I used lemon stickers. If you want to see that card made, I did a slimline version of this. I have that. I'll link it below as well. That's from last Thursday's live show. So see how cute that is to have the little lily pads like they're kind of floating in the water. Then I'm going to use the frogs to decorate the rest. So now I can lay this down and decorate the front. So let me show you what I'm thinking here. First off, I want to take this little guy and glue him to the log. I want him to be sitting on the top of this little log so I can put that down on the bottom. When you're decorating, what you have to pay attention to is that you cannot glue things down solid. Here's what I mean. When you're gluing down, because this is an easel card, you want your images to lift. You want to glue to the bottom so that they can still lift up. So here's what I'm saying. Even though I want this guy to live kind of over here in this corner, I'm only going to glue what touches the bottom portion so it will still fold. So I'll put a little glue down here at the bottom, like so. Then I'll place this little guy where I want him, but I'm not gluing him down completely because I need him to lay flat and lift. You see that? So now that little frog, I'll lift this where you can see it. Now that little frog is free to move from the fold. That's the biggest part of this whole project, is making sure you keep those folds clear. So this little guy, I think I'm going to put him over here. Maybe this way or maybe here. I'm not sure yet. Let's look at this one. I think he's cute because he's kind of jumping away. So I kind of want to put him here. And here's how I kind of tell myself where I can glue it to. I place it where I want it, and then I put my fingers back here, and that says, don't put glue there, but put glue where your fingers aren't touching. Because that way I know this is going to be touching the paper. So then when I go back and I place him down, he's got glue in the right spot. How cute are these jumping frogs? I think they're so cute. Now, here's what doesn't matter. See how this piece overlaps that top? That doesn't matter because it's going to lay flat in the envelope and be lifted up when the recipient gets it. So that really doesn't matter. Let's decide where we want to put this little guy. Maybe over here, like he's kind of jumping into the scene. And that's good. This is where it will matter. You do have to make sure that your images you put at the end, like here, don't hang over your card too much for it to fit in the envelope. So you do have to do that. So he's only going to work with his little hands, the tiniest little bit here, and that little guy there. And then I'm going to place him like he's just jumping into the scene. I think that is so cute. And I feel like this polka dotted paper, by the way, I got to show you what paper I'm using. You're not going to believe it. I tell y'all all the time, don't worry about the theme of paper. You'll be surprised where you can use it. Look, I'm using Craft and Create for this. This is a new one that we just got in. This dark paper is perfect. I wanted it to kind of feel like a night sky. Now we can decorate all these little panels any way we want. I think I would like to put, I got to decide where I want my sentiment to go. So let me decide on that and we'll get right back together. So you guys remember that little strip I cut off the end and I said, save it for a sentiment strip. It's perfect. We're going to use it. This little sentiment says, don't be a worrywart. I love this. Don't be a worrywart. So I'm going to stamp that right there. Then I'm going to put that on the bottom of the card. Then I'm going to use the other sentiment from the set, or another one, that says jump for joy. I think that'll be cute. So I'm going to put it here. And I'm going to be bubble cutting this. Now, I actually have the SVG for this, but I didn't cut it out. I don't know why. I should have. I just cut out the little images. If I had, I wouldn't have to do the fussy cutting, but this will only take a second. So what I'm going to do is just kind of bubble cut around this little guy because I just want it to kind of feel like the frogs. So on my little don't be a worrywart sentiment, I'm going to do a little ribbon tail here. Just like that. Didn't quite get that one cut through. There we go. And then we've got the jump for joy sentiment to go with it. All right, don't be a worrywart. It's going to go on the bottom. Say that 5 times fast. All right, so this little guy, I'm going to put a little glue on him. I could pop him up, but I really don't think I need to. So I'm just going to glue him straight down here. I think he'll be cute by this little froggy guy. Let's put him like this. Cute, cute. And then I can stand that up so I can look at it. I think I got to figure out where I want Jump for Joy to go. It's cool to stand these up when you're decorating. Jump for Joy could go by him or him. I kind of think I want it to go here, and I'll show you why. Let's glue this one down. Pretty good with that. I'm making decisions, y'all. That's what I do. Making decisions. All right, so Jump for Joy goes there. And then I've got these other pieces. I've got this little piece that is the SVG cut this little shape out and I stamped it. I think I'm going to put it here. I think that'll be really cute, kind of lifting up a little bit. So I'm only going to glue the little bottom parts of it, like so. And then glue that down like he's hopping. But I'm making sure I'm only gluing it to the part that folds. Remember, we don't glue it all the way over the top. We want it to stand up. I can lay it down and show you what I mean. See how I'm only gluing it to the blue part? That way it'll stand. That is so cute like that. All right, I also have this little buggy guy, which I think is super cute, and I have an idea. Let's see if we can make it happen. So this is a little piece of clear acetate. Can you even see that on camera? I hope you can. I'm gonna add a little bit of glue to it here and also there on both sides. And I'm gonna sandwich it behind this little frog that's right down here at the bottom. So I'm just gonna push this back here and glue that to there. Then I'm gonna take that little firefly. I'm gonna say it's a firefly. I think I have a bigger one. I do. I'm gonna use this bigger one first. And I'm gonna put this little firefly on that clear acetate like he's popping up out of the sky. So I'm just gonna put a little glue right there and glue him on. This is gonna be so hard for you guys to see, but at the end, I'll lay it all out where you can see it good. So let's see. So I've got him on there. So see, he'll lift because of the clear acetate. Let's bring that up. He'll lift, and then he flies away from the little frog. That's cute. I want to do this little guy the same way. It's getting delicate because this little piece is really tiny, but this is kind of fun. Somebody will love this card. You'll be able to do so much. You're going to look at this card and go, oh, I've got an idea for layout. You'll have an idea. You'll know exactly what to do to make your card happen. So taking my other little firefly and gluing him to that one. So he's flying away. That's adorable, y'all. And then I also have these little pieces, which are like the, I don't know what this stuff is called. You know, like swamp grass, swampy grasses. I'm gonna slide this one back here behind this little guy, like he's jumping out of the swamp grass. Everything has to get glued to the bottom. That's the biggest thing you have to remember, is glue it to the bottom. I might give this to him, or I think I'm gonna put it back there with him. He'll just have all the swamp grass. He's jumping out of the weeds back there. Let's lay this down so we can get to it good. So he's just jumping out of those weeds. Y'all, that is so cute. Okay, so when the card is laid flat in the envelope, this is how it looks. Isn't that sweet? I love that. I think that is adorable. So this is how it looks when the recipient gets it. And then when they open it, all the little lily pads hold this in place, and I'm gonna turn it to its side so you can see it. And they have this to sit on their desk. I think that's precious. Now I'm gonna stamp inside of it too. We'll do that in just a second, but I wanna make sure you can see how this works. And how cute is it with the little acetate fireflies flying away? That is stinking adorable. Don't forget, with the stamp set, you get your free SVG files from us, so you'll want to use those as well, because that makes this job super easy. All right, let me show you how I will stamp the inside. So I'm just going to open this guy up. You can always stamp the inside ahead if you know what you're going to do. I honestly didn't know what I was going to put in there. So I'm going to open this guy out like so, and I'm going to stamp the inside. Now, if you're worried about it lifting and not getting a good stamp, use your stamp positioner. So using a little VersaFine Onyx Black and the stamp set that says Fully Rely on God, or the stamp from that set that says Fully Rely on God. I got a little too much ink on there. I don't want to have that on my project. Now I'm going to take this, I'm going to stamp it in this corner. So I'll have an inside sentiment as well. I was being very gentle with that one. I would do that before you do all this other work that I did. So look how cute, y'all. Let's lift it back up. It's super cute in the little easel form. Again, I don't know who made this card. Oh, let me show you something too. Did you see how that popped back up? Because I kind of did this and, you know, I laid it back out on itself so I could stamp it, you'll want to make sure before you put in the envelope, just go ahead and recrease your side here so it'll lay nice and flat when the person gets it and stands it up. See how that just laid it down? I'm in love with this card. I'm in love. Let me hold it up. I'm in love with this little guy. I think this is a cute technique. I think you can do so much with it. So this is the A2-ish card. Let me show you the mini Slimline, and I'll lay it out flat to show you first. So this one I did with just stickers. I did this on the live show the other day, and look, this one stands up behind these little guys. So this is the same thing, but done with a mini Slimline. Okay, so this is a 3x6 folded in half. That's how we did that one. And then I also did the other A2 that I showed you in the beginning. I'll show you that one again too, so you can get an idea. And these are done with stickers. So see, that's just stickers from the paper pack, and those are just stickers as well. Super fun. I love when I see something like this. I don't know if I'm behind the trend. This could be something from 10 years ago. I have no idea. I saw it on Pinterest and was very, very intrigued and wanted to learn how to do it. I hope you guys have enjoyed it as much as me. Now listen, this means I need to see you guys flood our customer page with these, our customer gallery. I want to see your creations, because that's what's so cool, is seeing what you guys do when you get these ideas from me. And I love seeing how you take something I show you and turn it into something so much better, because you always do. Hey, thanks so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this twisted triple easel card, and I'm going to link in the description the videos I saw that inspired me, so I want to make sure we give credit to those folks. I just looked up a bunch of different stuff, so I'll link kind of a playlist for you guys down there. And until next time, guys, thanks so much. Bye now.